Yes, on our walkabout today, we also noticed how this Savannah holly has its berries now turning beautiful orangish red. Mark, these Savannah hollies sure have grown, haven't they?
They certainly have. It's hard to believe that they're just 3 years old.
Right, and we actually put these in ourselves. They were in 30-gallon pots, so they were nice sized trees when we got them. A little taller than I am when we got them 3 years ago.
But they certainly weren't as full as well as not as tall.
Right, and we're leaving them the limbs to the ground because we want, this is a screen, a living screen, a green fence, and we want to leave it to the ground, even though a lot of people limb it up and let it be more in a standard tree shape.
Yes. So Belinda, next to that Savannah holly that we just showed, we have, what is that?
This is a lemongrass, and the leaves of it have that lemony fragrance when they're crushed. I can smell it now, even though it's kind of brown. And we like to leave it up for the fall and winter for more winter interest. So it really caught our attention as we were walking across, and the kind of silvery brown foliage.
Yes, and it is so amazing that even in a colder month when you've had some hard freezes and frost, if you walk around your garden, what you see that is of interest, even though it's not flowering and beautiful like it usually is in the spring and summer.
Right, so we'll wait to cut it back just before it's going to push out its new growth. We'll do our cut back then and let that new bright green growth. And we actually have some living Christmas trees on our property. This is a Carolina sapphire that has wonderful fragrance, and we do know a tree farm near us grow the Carolina sapphire, much smaller ones for bringing indoors.
Yes, Belinda, and the Carolina sapphire is a type of Arizona cypress.
Wow, something else that caught our attention was this golden Oakland holly here. When we bought it, it was probably about this high in maybe a 7-gallon nursery can. And because it is a variegated golden Oakland holly, the variegated golden Oakland, they do tend to grow slower.
Yes, they do.
Than the actual plain Oakland holly. But it's a beautiful pop of sunshine right here in this green border, isn't it?
Certainly is. We've got a cloudy December day with the sun popping out of the clouds from time to time, and it just illuminates the golden color of those leaves. So Belinda, here is the winter's joy that we planted just yesterday, and she looks so good. That beautiful pink flower bloom on her. She's loaded with a few more and a lot of more to come open. And of course, we talked about this in another video when we planted her. She is one of 2 plants that we put here on each end of Judy's garden in memory of my mama.
Right, and I think some people describe that color as lipstick pink.
I think it is, and I don't know if my mama had any pink lipstick, but I think she would be very happy to know that this is planted in her memory in this garden that we refer to as Judy's garden.
Right, and she definitely did not forget her lipstick when she was all dressed up to go out.
That is so true. She did not. Yes, here, Belinda, in the back of what we call our woodland garden, on the stump of this once mighty oak, where we placed our herons, they're just glistening in that afternoon sun as it's beginning to set.
Right, and the one on the ground, she's right in front of an Alice oak leaf hydrangea.
Yes, she is. And it's certainly lit up by the sun, isn't it?
Right, you can see the ruby leaves of that Alice oak leaf hydrangea in there.
So here is not far from the Alice oak leaf hydrangea, one that's called Jetstream. And this particular oak leaf hydrangea, when that mighty oak was toppled by the winds of the hurricane, this one was buried in the dirt and debris that came down from the oak. And as I was cleaning it up, I found this buried. So it came up, roots and all, and we planted it and said, let's see if it'll live. Well, as you can see, it's living.
And it was really only a few inches high. What we got, we had some roots and a few inches of growth.
Oh yes, it was. And there were no leaves on it, just stems and roots and just a few inches high. And we planted it and said, let's see if it really wants to live here. I believe it does.
And it's got some nice fall color to its foliage.
And we're hoping that it will put out some blooms this year, but it is definitely living here.
All right, so keep following as we'll update you on its progress.
And we have found that oak leaf hydrangeas do so well here in our South Georgia garden, even in pretty much full sun. And the picture that you're looking at now is actually our dwarf oak leaf hydrangea called Ruby Slippers. And now, even in mid-December, her leaves are so gorgeous, that ruby color.
And Mark, as we walked by this Yuletide camellia, I heard some buzzing, and we stopped to look, and sure enough, there's some insects on it getting that nectar.
Yes, they are. And Yuletide sasanquas were, I think, the first sasanquas that we planted in a garden several gardens ago, several years ago, and they did so well for us. And here's one blooming nicely here in our garden.
Right. And the perfect spot for some of our insects to gather a little nectar.
Yes, I think they really like these plants in the winter when not much is blooming, but some camellias certainly are.
Mark, as we're coming up this path in the woodland garden, I noticed the color change on this foliage. What plant is it?
This is an Empress of China dogwood. And we actually learned about this from watching Jim Putnam on HortTube. He has one in his garden, and I believe he calls it tardily deciduous, that those leaves that are turning a pretty color right now will be pushed out by new leaves, and then it will bloom. And it is a dogwood that has done well. This is what, its second season with us?
I think so. And right now it's about 4 feet tall.
Yes. And it was probably, it's put on at least a third, if not a half, of its current size since we planted it.
Right. Oh, and now here's Dreamweaver from inside the woodland garden. We can see it across the path. Yes, and I walked in to get a closer view, and I see that there's a bird's nest inside. So you'll have to get a close-up shot of that, Mark.
I certainly will. And she is just loaded. You can see the, I guess the camellia snow on the ground around her.
Right, that pink snow.
Pink snow where she's dropped old blooms, still pushing out new blooms.
And it's the delicate little pink flowers.
And I'm seeing a lot of buds still on her.
Dreamweaver is a perfect name for her.
So Belinda, there are those delicate pink blooms that you were talking about on Dreamweaver.
Right, they're deeper pink, and then they kind of come out to a soft pink. But also you can see the yellow centers. These are called semi-doubles.
Yes, and they're very beautiful, aren't they?
Right, so this way, being a semi-double, the pollen is accessible to the insects.
And the Dreamweaver camellia really is accentuated, located right here by that Jack Frost ligustrum.
So here, Belinda, as we're looking back down this woodland garden, I'm seeing 3 Winter's Joy similar to the two that we planted over near Judy's garden.
Right. These have been in the ground, I think this is their second season.
Second season, yes.
So they bloomed out earlier, and they're at the end of their bloom, as you said.
And they have pretty pink blooms. Most of them have dropped in there, as you refer to it, the pink snow underneath them.
Right.
And then I'm noticing a sunshine ligustrum just glowing back in there.
Yeah, even though our afternoon has turned a little bit more cloudy, that sunshine ligustrum is just a pop of yellow in there.
Certainly is. Beautiful camellias. I'm so glad we can grow them here in South Georgia.
Yes.
And on our walkabout today, it was so nice to find these little gems of color tucked in where these plants had been somewhat protected from those frosty mornings.
Yes, right along that brick wall that heats up those Atlas roses and makes them just glow.
And right next to it, we see a beautiful little verbena with one little bloom still holding on even in mid-December.
That verbena is awesome. It survived in that spot through the hurricane, the damage, and everything, and it's blooming in December.
Wonderful. And then next we have our dogwood.
Cherokee Princess.
And her leaves are so magnificent at this time. She's held on so far.
She certainly has. And you think of dogwoods with the beautiful blooms in the spring, but that fall color is gorgeous.
Magnificent. And Mark, anytime we're doing a little walkabout in our garden, we seem to find some little job that really needs to be taken care of right now.
Yes, when you piddle in the garden, you're never really finished piddling.
And that's the fun part of it too. So we remembered that our new plants that we had planted this week probably needed a good drink of water, a good soaking before this frost comes, this hard freeze actually.
Yes, we want to make sure that all of our plants are protected from this hard freeze that's coming, and giving these plants some watering, especially with them being new, will help them out.
Right, so we had a little bit of our rainwater left, and that's what we're going to do with these plants. Hey y'all, we hope that you enjoyed this part of our walkabout as we took you down our berm where we have mostly large evergreen trees and shrubs, and then into our back garden.
Yes, and even though there aren't a lot of blooms the way there are in spring and summer, and in fall or here as well, there were a few things blooming, our camellias, and a few colorful items, but we wanted to catch the rest of this walkabout before that hard freeze that's coming tonight.
Right, and it was quite delightful to see a few blooms kind of tucked in areas where the frost had not gotten to those little microclimates that were secure and safe, but I don't think those are going to make it through this hard freeze that's coming.
No, Belinda, I don't believe they will. Well, if you have any comments, questions, suggestions, please leave them in the comments section below. We would love to hear them.
Right, and if you didn't see the first part where we took you on the walkabout through our front gardens, be sure and look at that one also.
Yes, and we hope that you're staying warm and that your garden has been put to bed for the winter, as things are going to be going dormant and hibernating. And we all look forward as gardeners to the spring.
Right.
But right now we can maybe watch some garden videos, read a good book, and dream about spring.
Right, and also let us know in the comments what you think about the walkabout style, because we'd like to do that more with you, especially when there are a lot more things blooming.
Yes, we do look forward to those blooms, don't we, Belinda?
We do. So I think it's time for some sweet tea again.
I believe it is time for some sweet tea. Cheers from our South Georgia garden.
Happy gardening.